I'll tell you what, let's speak to somebody who knows a lot about this, because joining me now is spokesperson at the Smart Motorways Kill campaign, Claire Mercer, whose husband died in a crash on the M1. Claire, it's so good to see you again. I mean, this is sort of bittersweet, the fact that the government have finally listened. How are you feeling about all of this?
It's a bit of a win, but it's only half the battle, and it's still the important half of the battle to go, because it's the current ones that are killing us.
Well, exactly. That was my take on it. Now, for those of us who don't know, and I mean, Claire, if you are able to tell us what happened to your partner, just so people understand the awfulness of these ridiculous things, and I don't know why they're going to carry on with these ones.
He had a minor collision on the M1 near Meadowhall in Sheffield. It should have just been a bad start to the day. Drivers should have both been on their way within a few minutes. But because they were at a sign that said no hard shoulder for 4 miles, because 4 years ago we knew less about smart motorways than we know now, they didn't know what they were meant to do. They didn't know that there was a refuge area a mile out of sight. And you can see on CCTV that they travel further onwards looking for a safer place to stop, but they can't find one, and it's your legal obligation to stop after an accident. So they pull over as far left as they can, but they can't get their vehicles right out of the live running lane because of the crash barrier, and they themselves can't get over the crash barrier because there's a 30-foot drop on the other side. Mm-hmm. They get out their vehicles and they talk to each other there, and this is what happens in 90% of these cases on live running lanes. The people are out of their vehicles, and HGVs cannot manoeuvre the same as a Ford Fiesta. You know, they've got much bigger stopping distances and things. And a HGV ploughed into them bodily and caused absolute carnage across 4 lanes of the motorway. And even when there was absolute carnage across 4 lanes of the motorway, the technology that we're led to believe will save our life didn't pick them up even then.
Well, you see, that's in response to what Danny was saying. The point is that whilst they have all this technology, once you've got a chain of communication, then any loose link on that chain means that message won't get across. So you've been campaigning. Yeah. What's the next step now? Because we've got to the point now where they're stopping the rollout. I don't know why they didn't do it sooner, but we still have to live with these things, the ones that they've currently got. How can we, what's going on in terms of, you must be relieved, but doesn't feel like this is over yet.
Well, the campaign doesn't stop because, like I say, it's the existing ones that are killing us. So unfortunately, we've still got a job to do, and we're not going to stop until we've got the hard shoulder back on every single motorway. Because again, it's just smoke and mirrors and caveats and footnotes, because they say all new smoke motorways, and then they admit that the M56 and the M6 are still going to open without hard shoulders. The section's currently being worked on there. And you say about the weak links, all the way through its weak links, like the technology you've mentioned, this DINAC, it is not up for the job. There is nowhere near enough staff employed in the control centres. In inquest after inquest after inquest that I've sat through, National Highways have said we've got 100% coverage, camera coverage on the motorways, but when pressed, they eventually admit, although they've got 100% camera coverage, so there's cameras covering 100% of the motorway network, there is not enough camera operators employed to watch them. So the cameras are looking, but there's no one watching. And this is the same everywhere. So you've just got weak link after weak link after weak link. And the technology that's meant to be installed in the roads is either not installed, as in my husband's case, or it didn't work. And time after time, it's just not picking it up. The gantries do their own thing. They set their own signs, or they don't set the signs. It's just weak link after weak link after weak link, and people's lives are depending on this. And the other argument that a lot of these accidents are down to human error. We're human. You can't take the human out of this. We are human, and we had an infallible thing at the side of the road that didn't rely on glitchy technology, didn't rely on humans, and it worked, and we chose to take it away. And that is just inconceivable. And yet, when I push for corporate manslaughter charges, I'm told that National Highways do not owe the motorist a duty of care, so therefore cannot be prosecuted for corporate manslaughter.
Well, listen, Claire, it's always good to talk to you. You fight a good fight, and I'm behind you 100%. I think you're spot on, and I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for joining me. That is Claire Mercer. She lost her husband on a smart motorway.